Very interesting conversation coming up. Honorable Boko there.
Yeah, Bibia Boko na Michel no etiefo nyina.
Etiefo jo. So you home studio ha check kakra.
No cra wa nim se Onyankopon de wa na afemu de na akufado de na ya ginsem.
Eno ginsem wo. Enra minim say as a house na mo expect as a finance minister be before you. Now we be presenting mid-year budget review statement, no. Finally or by and Enra make say it was a rather short presentation, about 26 pages from what I got. A capture BBA now expect to say obete in a presentation like this.
Yo, enukura a woman is oba say yemona kohoma.
Enra.
Meka
okay.
Ena no oba ye no. Oba me ebo na kohoma. Okay. Na yemra no ekire se udi na ekodru baby a esa osamba na omaye hu se akoma bo ade ma wono ebeso yes sen na we di ska no amana akwakosi na nhihye a wo ye se nka wo jeje ato ne sika ebeba bedi usem na de ye mpuntudwuma no ehun sunsun aso te sen onsa ka na na se onsan kan na se onsan kan o won nhihye foforo bi a wodwen se o de bedan na agituma ebema wa kwanya na onsa aka sesika no na watim de ayo empumtudwuma no enti enura ba oba ene eche se obetwa mfonyi kire bebi a wakwakodu na se ebi hu behia se yebema ne bi aka ho ana se nhihye foforo bi a se agitum na otimi tu sa na mo enti eno mfoni na obetwa kire o twa mfonyi ni so ese wo kire senior udis kanu bedru ye no mpunto no san na eko ye sikasem hihye no akosi sai ene efrida oba ya ebo akomo na besi nne bibi potin bi asi a adwen se oma otwen adwen kosi so nti sa no ma no na ehwe animu se onfam betu ye nim na yenso yenfa ya adwen to na muaya ye wono ye di ama no nti ehumu haye no ya sha se di hu komonne eno ne efre no debate no ti ebe wi ase no ya adwen na be kopenkrom na ono so ti hobi na wotie ye ne a ye wo
mu debate a obetna hobi
otna hobi na watie na ode aye futuo se ne ebe ya nsakire ya ebeba mu no otimi ade aye adwuma.
But were you surprised say in this presentation why am requesting new Sikebia from Parliament?
Nti enukura wo mni se em se kanoforiata no akwan bi so no oturo no anu hamena a dachi be besie no sa amena nim
amena
a wotu akwa se de wakwasie ya wotu na amena se ne dachi ekobasi ebesie na ye namre na yakwakosie no
and Roka said, or they give no any grave. I be ending in a jail.
And only seven na making. Okanya Enkrata or the 2 year nimu ashasiano. Na ye motion. I motion no chese or by say or beje akwenya.
Yes.
Na we diskani bi aka. Na afro bedru ye no minim de say ne enkomo no si kwaye no sa otwen no san.
Ni na enre
ya.
Or the kind of
first order paper buy no e say or the motion or ba be supplementary estimate agis can be account nti ehwe ni mu say oba ye hunu no na me dwen say jama ne kaftan ne ba kwa yira afi ohwehwe afi ye to ha no the order paper addendum wa ye nsakire wo order paper ni mu a chese si ade on ma motion ni biem na mu oba statement nti odwen se ye de isima miensa na semanim na ye de fa adwen se ye nkwaji bi meka wan de ye mfa bi nkwa ha na je se hihye ne kire se wo pesika ni bi aka ho dada nti wontimi ma medru ho na wanya kokodro nti na sika wo hia na yera wo enu ti na ma meka se otu no ho amena no sisi a na ese opekwan a ode sa nhihye a ode atokwan no be kire ya ebema wan fi wani pa wo hu se papa no okodi ni sika ni bi aka ho na ohwe ne nwoma ode bae ni mu no a bibia kire pote say papa no ska no obedi bia ka ho e wa abra wa ma meje ho tumi a okwa akodi
wa meje tumi from the people's representative
no.
Na said the presentation now what say ya na watimi did you say who say obeji ska ni bi no it is before you maybe approve
say one request say approve any information or the man
statement here just
information you are providing information ti yani bibia we ni ma ya approve amount oba motion eno no na say approve
one make request official
I say approve na make consequential resolution and sana we di we are finish no what the appropriations supplementary appropriation number won say mrani kire say appropriation edi adwuma samre we
yes
utimi emfa ba ko bi mu sam meka ma ni yeminu nti say obeye ba kwa ko ha je say o repeal old one
yes
and sana new one because of that no supplementary estimate yem pass appropriation say na ebe ya old one no ebedi dwuma na emem wa bebo ekoko ameye hu bebi a opesa wo discard nti say afini twam wie a na o de foforo ne ba yetimi repeal old one and sana new one for next year no and also abesha name nti one for appropriation ambe ya and normally na dan deep face papa no sika no obedi bia ka ho no na je say triamra
but we'll come into Nyoma uhu ya ama conclude say obedi skani bi aka ho the point about because uka se nipa na degi ono ani grave and shebe ending in jail that is who impute some criminality in there but ye himself for such presentations no or ye no on behalf of His Excellency the President the economic policy of the government which is you know like under the auspices of the president it is on representative be on behalf of the president I didn't know or no budget for no
sir wona wo ba be presentation nye presentation na wo ye na de ukoje na mo mo ambeji tumi a kire wo kwa kodiska no wan na diska nye minister of finance no tueska aban president tueska minister of finance on no tueska on na to ni na kogu futuo ni ma ye friend consolidated fund na owo hu tumi no kire seska na ebi nkwa o kire se madikan age atum madikan nya mrese saske fakodi sedwuma we enya aban enya president na yes adwuma nti se wo ba ye no nim sesika no obedi bia ka ho na wa meje sa tumi no na kire wo fanyansa kwan so edi sesika na se ye mfifimu ni ekohu se sika no di bi ka ho wa meje tumi a ade ne enko president ro se nya president na diska nti eno na me tunufu enne parliament wo mi sa tunufu biem no no ate ho
anope ya
oti ho na me ka kire se na baby akeka kono ano ahye efi se oye ohwe nhihye a odi abana ohwe ne nhihye wo se sika ojigide di dwuma no I friend revenue and grants so ti from about 100 billion 100.5 billion so ti aba 96 billion
okay in the main budget no okay so revenue
na 105 billion see I ti so aba 96 billion nature
okay
so oye insisting na obo say sika so ate no e be 3.7 billion
and every so
okay eno no we be finance
okay
ansana o say insihu a ye tua e wo kaa ya bo no sika ya jeje yakobobosia ya bobobosia no ehun sihu no asa akosoro no so akosoro for from about 37 billion na Ekosiisen 41.3 billion and so be
interest on loans
interest expense and also kwakosi difference wo mni be about 3.8 billion o kam yenu no si eni a amount 7.5 billion Ghana cedis no so say o kan say o ye kola
yes
o ma kola bi
yes 15%
good 15% o calculating on just the wage bill alone not the compensation compensation social welfare and yes. Wage bill no kwan no calculate on the wage bill Ekosiisen 4.6 billion
Ghana cedis
4.6 billion no the can 7 point yina ho a
5 billion
can call 12.1 billion yesika atosini awo behia sa oda so say budget ne se ne tie no na wodi be yadwuma dia ebe boro so be 12.1 billion won chere baby a okonye sika na free wa ma ya ma otumi so sesa akodi sika no so the nature say ekeka kwose obedi Ghana sika etia emra two obey budget no one can say obey all the was emra down Bank of Ghana na waji 22 billion a free on.
But that 22 billion allegation, no, and I think for now I can say allegation because Enra Midibusa, the deputy finance minister, our colleague on the finance committee, a just member of parliament, John Kuma, say what minority allegation or more make or say it is news to him until the Bank of Ghana HSK. Where are you getting that information from?
Nana, or no one document home.
Where the main budget statement?
On the budget.
Okay. Okay.
The other band
oh, the other band running. Okay. Okay.
Page 96. We share financing of government program. In fact, 96, page 97.
Okay.
Ochra kwan ho do asa offer so e de abobosia e de si sikana ensona no no de djuma.
Yes.
Adia ba kwa obo so ye Bank of Ghana and the domestic net finance we say Bank of Ghana shaho I did note 2 asheso. So Bank of Ghana o hwe Bank of Ghana 2022 budget no na zero. O share 2022 program quarter 1 to 2 yan program bibia na zero. Nemum 2022 provisional Obon say the 22,141,225,338 billion.
Ghana cedis.
Aye, they are sure. Not just a disaster scandal. They didn't that. Aye, free Bank of Ghana. Na Bank of Ghana moji deposit. What is kakoto? What is them you Bank of Ghana is kakoto. They deposit normally be above people. So you don't want to see, you don't expect who say actual printing of money, 22 billion. It is our 22 billion allegation. O share asia kura wasama note document nancy mama note o say note 2 o say or the note 2 a share Bank of Ghana so or say includes IMF SDR resources on lent to government. What can I say? Maybe me throw one ten become a governor. I make a trend and say, sir, SDR special drawing rights sikabia $1 billion IMF at the buy. Government, yes.
Okay.
No, not COVID. Nancy,
okay.
2021 year, baby.
Okay.
I'm trouble say. Also, can baby say all the $350 million be by my Bank of my buy. I'm trouble says, as can also the my buying. Bosia. If it says can a free IMF buying a buyer to support balance of payment.
Okay.
And balance of payment is owned by the Bank of Ghana. Bank of Ghana and buying there. And executive there. It is me your bank me ADB miska dawe. Na a common man me my boy ura say masa ibi bam nam kodi. Untimi yanisa.
Yeah.
Nti se wo kwaje ya bosia. En hihye so wo hwa da Bank of Ghana any aban isikasem hihye so. Sa aban wo kire no hia free Bank of Ghana, iska free Bank of Ghana. Bank of Ghana mra na ya ye ne kire se. Ye betimi abo bosia a ne sika abaya Bank of Ghana abo bosia afi nyina no kani nyina bomu a Ekosiisen 5% of previous years total revenue.
Okay.
Efri nkroma breso. Ebesi nda okani na bomu a sika aban dia ma ono ni kwanse ebro ha nchiche mu enum. Ewo afi etwe mu no sika ebedi wase osemu a wodidi adwuma.
Yeah.
And so all the 10 billion a demand 2020 no. Now all the sika abanya aje free Bank of Ghana ina keka bomu a ye drum pempensi obi a aban atra sa limit no 5%. Enti untimi fasika ensan koma won biem abra wo mumra no so. Enti untimi fa $350 million no emma o ma anyima no. Enunti na wo hwa asase no mo de budget ne ba no mo de share soro ho say IMF SDR 4.5. Minimum ekoba actual no. Oman fans antobium. Omo the Bank of Ghana scan. Omo provide loan notes there. They have unlent. In other words, they are now complying with the position I took. I'm trauma. And the Ziano, Okani in Aboma is about 32 billion. Only revenue out here and sana wait me about 32 billion. You need revenue of over 620 billion Ghana cedis before 5% can give you 32 billion
from the Bank of Ghana.
Bank of Ghana. Let's say, sir, Sikeya, a shehino. Say, or the asho, one fan show, itiamra. And I knew ya mesama. My lawyers a letter come Bank of Ghana under the Right to Information Act and under the Constitution. Say among other things, me person omo kire me. Sika dudu a omo de abo aban, omo de ama aban a ye bosi omo de abo aban no 2027, 2028, 2029. 2019 sorry, 2017, 2018, 2019 2020, 2021 and year to date 2022.
Okay.
Omni say maybe I make a call maybe or court. No so omo di mirika di we di na be show. Now I said they have provided information to Parliament.
But does it satisfy or request I will make here, no?
It satisfies only 20 to date
Only
2020. The rest of the months no it's not here. The rest of the years no ye
Am I?
No me probu akwaje no. But near Sifim say Yankasi Ashishemra say you can't finance government more than 5% of previous year. Now financing this level, which is actually far in excess. What Yamra? 2. Yene IMF sika sem share emre twa mu a friend economic extended credit facility agreement in we ya yes akobiem. Yene IMF G2 mu say yam mobusi free aban hobiem a Bank of Ghana hobiem. I friend zero financing. And nam soma 2016 His Excellency John Mahama wanje 1 cedi and free Bank of Ghana. Obre ni moja ni eye dwumaden epeska de yen pom to dwuma wanje bi en free ho. Na wo de wo se wo de wonti se Adongo bi nu abe na wakwa kwaji sika puduo 32 billion every Bank of Ghana itiamra on baby amekeka ko say or digging home grave, including the grave for the governor of the Bank of Ghana.
The governor of the Bank of Ghana.
Because this is illegal. Adeba ko woman say wa baba catch Parliament and answer one country Parliament is of no consequence. So wa catch Parliament say we bumra na eguso. Does that absolve you from criminality?
But honorable, the other thing is say IMF, for example, MIA balance of payment facility. I said in this case, no $1 billion. That money is lodged where at the Bank of Ghana, right?
Yes.
It is a footnote now. Okay, and the 22 billion was drawn from Sika IMF
Ebi.
Ebi was drawn from that.
Ebi was drawn there, but because a Bank of Ghana Japa the anything, the man I can loan to a Bank of Ghana the amount.
Oh, that's your understanding.
Yeah, that's they've said it. You want to say it includes the IMF SDR on length. Okay. And I want to know. Busia esa o de ma ban no. Wakwa manapem. Etwetwa. Ana wo dugusu a na wo da se bigum. E wa bre tiamra. 2. Bank of Ghana, any ministry not signing an MOU, a part of your exit from the IMF program. I just say, mobusian free Bank of Ghana hobby. Even though Imran say you bet me a book with 5%. Yen nenje krabium. Sana wo kasa ina no mfa nyadwuma. Wa fechire, mfa mra ne nyadwuma, mfa hyehye ne nyadwuma. Ana wo sori anu akwajiska o Bank of Ghana. Nsesi a IMF ya ba begina ha makọ from abai. Ombusa o se nhihye dada na ye ne wo ye no. Ne ho sunsu aso ne hyen a. Obaka chom se de. Obaka chom so me ho kire me kwajiska. Ma mfa nya adwuma. Na che so wo ye nipa bi a ye no ebo apama nya ye. Wo ye nipa bi a ye de ere hye mu a ehye wo mu a enye ye. woyɛ nipa bi a womfa mmara nyɛ adwuma na adeɛ baako a obibu sase adentina ɛsɛ yɛhyɛ ho so na yɛnkɔgye sika no mfiri Bank of Ghana
ho
na kyenkyena nkɔfo ntua sika ma ban no fa nyɛ adwuma so wokɔgye sika no free Bank of Ghana na Bank of Ghana so ama na wode kɔyɛ adwuma a sika no ɛmfiri economy ni mu na mmom ɛyɛ sɛ sika yɛde asie baby ana yɛakɔ print na yɛde ama na ɔde waso gu mu a you will be a friend of fiscal dominance over monetary policy na kyerɛ sɛ aban sikasɛm hyehyɛ nyinaa na akɔyɛ sɛ Bank of Ghana na ɛhwɛ so nti sɛ sika no bebree begu mu saa na inflation never. You will be a friend inflation targeting framework. So inflation targeting framework is compromised when you put a lot of money into the system.
94.7.
Into wonso scan ma ban no. Na scan kwa do a system no. Na the inflation no eba. Now shadio inflation ni ba wa okoji scan na odwin say ye free no. Ebedura ehunsunsun aso say afi obetua sika mo na watimi a survival. Nti yafa se scanner be gumu nti obi anim se eburo ne bo akosoro no ebia eburo emfira mo no nimba enso Bank of Ghana sore anu increase policy rate adentia onim se scanner bi abegum
ndi oso opekwan be ma ne san
esan ba yenso yanim se scanner bi abegum nti no de bia ye sore sa na de na adie yi eye wonsi Ukraine ade na wo increase policy rate ono so nkan kire o se ade ne maso bi agum a yesa me kofre on sa ba o frɛ o ma ba na o increase policy rate ne be wiase ya ne sɛ aban na na onya sika ne free no sɛ si ade on tua 13% biam na o de abobosia e o treasury bill market o be tua 29.8%. So what you say and this sika free na o je ye no ne so aso ne sɛ si a o kutua 29.8% ansan na wetimi abobosia di dwuma enrichi ya okobo abobosia ne bi 29.8%.
Aban
ya
from
capital market Ghana.
Okay.
We say 5-year bonds no about 4.9 amateur.
Yeah.
Nto oko issue 3-year bond no agiska no dia akoma.
E dia akwa akotua eno.
Oko en nkofo nso ombeje 29.8. 29.8% no kra no omanya sika na ma no man 1.11. 1.11 pen na saka yo. Na omwa akana eyebeyo almost 3.8 billion no okufiska we na odiama omosika no so omoso roll over amoje omade amoje sika fun na akoje sika free no ne sunso se si ano obre ansa na wadiji obre ansa na osaka sika ana onsa beka bi kura sa onsa beka je se otua nsi homo onsa osaka enu na sisi ye gina ho ya aban ejin ho awonje so obaye wabeka kire o say ni interest payment na akosoro nti free money no ne sunso aso ne say interest payment na akosoro na je say sika ye je a see ye de be mpuntu dwuma no ye de ni nyina kotua nsi ho o hwe enwoma IMF issue ye ombeye omo article 4 consultation na nanu read paragraph 31 and paragraph 33 of that document. Obeka Chero say in 2020 we spent 129% of total revenue on debt service. 129. Na che say sika bedi ensem nyina no ye de kotua nsi ho ne ekane bia asose betua. Anso eme sa akọbọ bosia ehanchichemu 29% ansa na yetimi etua nsi ho no ene eka ye de nko a o enti ni aka o budget team nyaji se bobosia because nsi ho no agi ni na ama ya sa bobosia kura ba etimi aba bitua nsi ho ne biem ansa na ye bobosia ansa na etua adwuma ye foka adana na enanu na gabi kase yanji we yantumu a we may have to borrow to pay compensation. You are already borrowing 100% any etua
100% borrowing
to pay compensation
of government workers.
Yes.
Read since when?
I said Article 4 review consultations with government for 2020. Particularly paragraph 31 and paragraph 33. I say ya bobosia ansa na yetumi atua nsihu no kura kama na so enti yetua nsihu no bewie na ya bobosi atua nsihu bewie ni kapre ofie enti ni kapre se betua dwuma fo ka ji se ye ko bobosi. District Assembly Common Fund, Statutory Fund, Get Fund, National Health Insurance, Sika nyina ye de no aka ho akwa tuansi ho a anso a ye sa bobosi account o mo so kura no this is sa bobosi asa no mo sa ka muska.
It was statutory
funds. This is sa bobosi asa no mo sa ka muska. Ansa na agudi a akodi a de be ma dwuma e for e fe no goods and services o mo tim de abo dwuma no kura no. This is paper, this is bobosi. Paper, fuel, this is bobosi. Ansa na se be yempum to dwuma bia ya sa bobosia nti ewiemu nyina o mampanyin na ma o dware owiemu nyina ya bobosia na de tua evises insihu na diskani na anso.
But honorable no reveals, but even before somebody start this question, I mean kakra on the Bank of Ghana printing monies, no, if I understand your point thus far, okay say a possible say 22 billion no if free IMF balance of payment sika oma lodge with the Bank of Ghana. If it is from that money, then why do you claim say Bank of Ghana is from?
Man ka say mo size no me say size can na 1 billion.
1 billion.
Yan fan say all the ni na akra ma ban sisen see the moon say
$1 billion you are looking at be 8 billion.
Let's say 8 billion.
8 billion.
Good.
Yeah, Ghana cedis.
In the 8 billion now. Now
and you're talking 22
billion, so you have about 14 billion.
14 billion.
Okay, you have about 14 billion. If Bank of Ghana, an agency or Kobosa Abosiano, every banks and financial institutions there will be no money for you to borrow.
Individuals?
Yes, there will be no money for businesses to borrow. If you add that to competition, a bank borrow 25% of the GDP. As gross financing needs. Next is a bank no ebo bosia say economy near be 400 billion a bank bo bosia 100 billion. Nto the bank dey koka Bank of Ghana dey ho obo bosia sa dey akoma ban a obo say baby agina nye. Nti just oko print scan no dey ama ban. So what you say?
Yes.
Sa pepepe na eko. Now that is what Nyama can hear only government. So the general government services, state-owned enterprises, and in our bind there, we borrowed over 200 billion consistently for 2 years.
To do what? For them to run.
Yes, the level of borrowing of government sector, as reported by the fixed income depository at the depository unit of the Bank of Ghana and the Ghana Stock Exchange. That represents about 50% of the entire GDP of Ghana. Into Ubeyi Scarborough. The government has crowded out everybody.
Everybody.
That is the level of recklessness. And baby agency is here. Inti se sa netie dia 222 billion. Any budget ni mu a se si aye hu no. O de wo so am so obejiska bi aka ho o so buy no am obejiska so obejiska aka so the 22 billion any budget him eno no yende ansana mesesema 12 billion asabe ka ho eno so wo ye de na odi o the 12 billion no koka na deficit na or account here about 38 billion na amount of 50 billion Ghana cedis. And so I'm that say no kure wo mu ni say oba say obepe skin bi aka ba oba ya obedru ho a wo yem shiw say waka kire Ghana for say ana me katim expenditure and there be say na there na wo kate expenditure say esa akosori enti uni akokuru obeka kire na mom obeye ntro kan no akọ no afa kire discount na wo fa kire discount so yes we fa kire abecho sa pepepe
but Parliament, the House of Records, as far as the record of Parliament shows, in this mid-year budget review statement, one requested for new money be able to spend in the second half of the year.
Exactly.
That's
so.
true, right?
Exactly so.
As far as the records show.
Exactly so.
Ain't mo argument say ebia clandestinely or be fa kwan bi so diska bi enye sustainable until after the fact. And I just say
even before the fact, no 22 billion any budget no, and any budget no. Eko. Oza there be na we. Odenchem free suoma ba be ka just aponche ni ewu. Ozi just me consumer ko hese aponche ni wu ampa na say oda pre. Na wo rem na wa me. Papa na kasa ne huma wo de betu ye nim no kire se. We disika wa mfa kwan pa so ne diye. Ani ono ani hihye ya wo de ba ye ne keka si ye ni no. Esa aboro so be even 12 billion na. Wa mo so ankire. Ana kola no ndua. Kola no betua no ndua.
So a emergency and a government had to respond.
Me can say emergency. Me say obetua na ndua.
What make commitment say also tua?
To obetua no de share. Budget ni hin na o de share ya okotua free. Wan fan share budget na mo kotua nso a. E won sunso aso. So what I say?
Yes.
Yes, all the share budget ni approve ma na wakodi. Sisi ya oba wa meka kola ho asem a yan fan share budget mu ya.
Even in the mid-year budget review statement, no provisions for cola.
Ana me kira say cola bebe mu anka ye benya supplementary no.
Anka
supplementary ni no de share other paper no so a when nya kokudura o sa akoyi free hon.
That would mean say e was say adwumayefo eye a bit cautious.
Omo steady pa.
Say anhwa cola na amba.
Me say onye steady. If say oba ye no wa me pe eno ho akonmabo.
And I know you bear 4.something billion.
For about 4.6 billion.
Ghana cedis.
And ye kikako. But we did 22 billion na afaya se. Aye ni the odisas can cry ye. Me know what 22 billion. COVID cry by ya. Na bibia ye nwan cry and when di 22 billion no. Obaje 10 billion pay the Free Bank of Ghana. 2022 year COVID ahira.
4.7.
Emom na obedi 22 billion. In 6 months. Nana 6 months so nya 1 year. 6 months what did 22 billion. Ewa bra ye ni COVID mbiem. Now him say yesika sem hye me be a friend Fiscal Responsibility Act. Who read here? I think section 5 for BB. Emma ho kwan say atoyem esia.
Yes.
Utimi suspend fiscal rules.
5% no.
Utimi suspend. But in the Bank of Ghana Act, there's nowhere ultimately suspending monetary rules. So what you say?
Yes.
Into 10 billion now, no, you did not suspend the monetary rules. You did it in violation of the monetary rules. And sana 22 billion ya obeji no sa tia monetary rules. Bank of Ghana Act and also said tiamra. It is a mechanic say. Onwa shase tu na mina na say na mekeka ko se wan hwe yi a da cha obetom na otom nso a mani meka se Ghana for ana antunofo
because of acts of parliament were breachy a lot of them.
It is particularly the Bank of Ghana
of Ghana Act. Of course the agreement with IMF, no justiciable in
no sir, it is not by law.
Yeah.
But only so say see ye dey asema kwa down
IMF, yes.
So nim say
yes.
On say the document nko wait me anka say okofre o say IMF came to this country to do what? Una ofre o so momra na ho kire. Baby a oda nye na omo meje. O man tema fa oxygen jambe si o hwene we so a wo number. Yes, almost sorry, na mo pe bibi oguroma na mo sorry bai. Wo na frɛ wo. Say wo da brenye. Baby a wo da sesi a no ma mantem animu ya mpe oxygen bi amba mbesi wo so a.
Waso ayese.
Wo bewu. Ana mbai. Ana yes abepepe.
No ba when you say based on that minister nso was ebia oye open to more in parliament because Obrem revised numbers. In a revised macro fiscal target, GDP growth, omu projected 5.8%. Sisi I say omateso about 3.7%. Non-oil GDP, omu projected 5.9. Isi omu omati about 4.3%. Inflation, omu projected 8%. Wakam mo say Oma revise is 28.5%. Fiscal deficit. Omu projected 7.4%. You see a revised one here 6.6. That's some good news there. Primary surplus. Omu projected 0.1%. See a revised one here 0.4%. Inti where obi or open and transparent to more parliament. So you know the real state of the Ghanaian economy.
I say in the deficit is 38 billion. No, revised one or the buy. And I say it's equivalent to 6.6% of GDP. Divide 38 billion by 6.6% of GDP. You will get around 592 billion Ghana cedis. Time I calculate the deficit now, we are 7.4. We use a GDP of 504 billion Ghana cedis.
Asempa FM.
Inti 504 no. So or the deficit of 37 billion no etna no so. Onya 7.4. Sesiano or the deficit of 38 billion, which is more than 37 billion. But we're finding ways that we're increasing the base. Artificially increase the GDP from 504 to 594 into the 38 now kosoro krat na so a
but how would he do that? Artificially increase
that is what he has done.
How?
Do the calculation. I just asked you to calculate 38 billion as a percentage divided by 6.6. You'll get 594 billion. Okay. If you want, divide 37 billion, which was the original deficit, by 7.4%.
Yeah, which was the projected
good,
deficit.
you will get 504. The difference you are seeing is that he's added 88 billion Ghana cedis to his GDP. As a result of it, he's now showing you smaller numbers. But the reality is that he's spending more. The reality is that he's incurring more costs. The reality is that he's incurring more interest payment. And the reality is that he's actually borrowing more to pay the interest that is resulting. But he has used an artificial denominator to deflate the numbers. So if you don't open your eyes,
the devil
is in the detail. Into all this, they are copying. Or did they say ya na Ghana call default? If you say Bibia or pay base, I assume. No, the Sikana betrasona yekitu ebi. Send a beya a bit me a carry weight no. And so wait na ankasa no de onka hwasem. Nti ebe wiase no. Se nkofo ne ba so mo beji om sika. Enye GDP no mbeje. 38 billion no mo beje ana 50 billion no mo beje. Sa time no GDP no koton ama hwan na odi akotuaka. Okoton ama hwan. GDP no koton ama hwan na odi akotuaka. Sa gymnastics we na dia begina bebi egina yo. Over. What in American has?
Me too far.
And no na dia begina pempenso aye gina yi. O kan say na no na de bia rate of debt accumulation. De bia debt me nua kojo opon kroma odaka pa. Yemfa rate of debt accumulation and calculate risk of default. Yemfa rate of debt accumulation en tuaka. Say me rate of debt accumulation is 300%. They say John Mama is in the end your fancy 300%. Now or the 66% of the revenue and all the services that are debt. Young fancy rate of debt accumulation is 1%. And so the 129% of your total revenue in that debt service now. The two economies, which one will default?
The second one.
Good. So you see, some myopic elementary analysis and a diabetes sample so yo. Yam fine no mumai. Near the mumai say me magana for bromo jeni no mo discard mamia me fa nyempum tujuma me dini na kotuansi ho na masabo bosia kotuansi ho. Nti say rate of debt accumulation ye 2%. Say ye 300%. Ehun hia. Ne hia ne sense ka say na eso otua. Sa sika no ko 5 free. back on rate of debt accumulation no now the etua. And no here.
The nominal figures.
That is what matters. Nana, when we talk about public debt, is your ability to pay. And your ability to pay is not dictated by rate of debt accumulation.
By percentages.
It's not dictated by a very big unrealized GDP. So GDP no realize you. When we say June, July, and so about the 88 billion about account. And so when I feeling Yamaya Obe realize the reason why when we use projected GDP at the beginning of the year, your managing for throughout the year and they say I finish so we are send it here. And this in between the year no increase GDP value now but now say well reduce you are only scratching your face and laughing, but at the end of the year you'll be exposed with the reality.
But Honorable, do you find it a bit curious, sir? Despite the situation at your womb, as you've painted, no? Ghana Investment Promotion Center issue press release and opaya. Now, almost say the World Investment Report 2022. It places Ghana as the second highest recipient of FDI in West Africa. And the statement says, FDI flows to Ghana increased by 39% to $2.6 billion for the year 2021. According to the World Investment Report 2022, this placed Ghana second in West Africa and seventh in Africa in terms of FDI attraction. The rise in Ghana's FDI flows was attributed to major projects in its extractive industries, which included the construction of $850 million gold mining facility by Newmont Corporation and the construction of a cement factory by Ciment d'Afrique, that's CIMAF, for $436 million. And Honorable, I mean, contrary to what we think the situation in our country is now, as for foreign investors, they find this place, well, some of them are GIPC, they seem to have confidence in the Ghanaian economy.
So, what are we discussing? You share your fiscal risk. And when I'm going to say your fiscal risk no, is dire.
Yes.
That is one. It doesn't mean that Ghana as an economy doesn't exist.
Okay.
It simply means, sir, we have an economy that is compromised going forward. That is one. Two,
Asempa FM 94.7.
we have a problem. I'm on an infosika ebedience.
Yes.
Ebini omwa omode amononisika baya omobeja no kromwa. No mo GCD e the boy bosia local bond. I enemri omoso omode omusika akwa. Omo ton local bond no je ne dollar no open or je CD ni wi a. What mean for CD ni nko ne krom. Oko bank se oko penny dollars obekọ na dollar ni ho. Ono so ntimi fa ni CD ni nko. Ne dollar na ode buy no ana ohwehwe.
Yes.
Ye ni bia de be ma no. Heightened external vulnerability. Aban kwa ehia over $3.5 billion a year amononisika. Say odi betua ni interest payment, offshore interest payment, any debt service. Dollar ni bi ni Bank of Ghana. Nkofo isu a osu di omu kai a eye dollars ese otua muka no. Omu so gina ho so omoje. Denu ngwase na ebeto ye. So omu gina ho so omoje ni aniska na omede be ma na ekoye chobo ya. Na ye gina ye. Eno ni asem ba ko ayeka. Asem mienu ayesa emiensa etoso ayeka ne se. Yesika kura bia ya hyehya to ho ma yeso mo mfa yesika nya adwuma no. Aban akobo akwaji omusika nyina ye bosia aban akwakobo a omusika na abesi aban sim. Aban su no ni bi obetuaka. Ndise ne aban ntimi ntua na saa sika kura bia ni nyina abegu. Egu wi ayekwen. Eno asem ne ye kan. Sa extractive industry or buy or this can be see
Newmont
that or train gold no kono. Gold no so inflation can. O two no for more. Anye gold the yanka say gold go for more. Nti yanka says problem when nti na gold no disappear free Newmont. Ah went me ko do. Oba betu. Every say Sagana to top and some say kura gold do dash form. Eno so na nani wo so. Ana anya sa. Nti na odwen san ko onye de. Mani metu. Nti oba no betu anache say okoro ni sei. Ade a ohwehwe no enye wo seed no yi no ohwe gold no so she form. Owo sika ode ba be ye ehihye mfidie no to gold no.
to gold.
Eno no ba ye. Wo hamba se obehwe se wodi sika yina tuansu hu ana se umfa ni yina tuansu hu. Na ultima say
Mitiopa.
Obeye ne cement factory no wa ma se wodi sika yina tuansu hu te Ghana fo nsi dan. Na sa hihye na obeye ne wa me ya sa hihye se 2 years Akufo-Addo ti aban no so nkwa na oye na febo se ni sika odi abehye sa cement factory mu no it will last for 30-40 years. It will outlive Akufo-Addo and our economic challenges. Ntinya Akufo-Addo aban se na etie ni ntina investors neighbor.
But the timing of that decision to want to invest no matters. And oye na doing say oba there. Meaning say the environment is a bit conducive for foreign investors.
Nobody invests long term because of a government that has 2 years to live. The government. Who does that? Who do 2 billion Ghana economy for the next 30-40 years because of somebody who is sitting there and the economy, that man is sitting there for 2 years and now do 30 years. Nana, asumesi, yes sir. Who does that? Ntinya economy Akufo-Addo created into na omobaha. They are investing into the long-term prosperity of our country and our resource endowment, which we have made it easy for them to come and extract and live with it. So, who was that to be na foreign investment na ode hwa na je se onya hu problem awo onya hu tibia ode akwakoduru said the ho hihye fa no de onya ntie. Why not this 2 billion be invest in Ghana because of Akufo-Addo aka ne na mienu no akoi. Na ni pay nim say investment here will last for 30-40 years. There must be a reason other than the current economic situation. Nobody invests long term on account of a government with 2-year lifespan. So what said there?
Yes.
Good. Inti ye bia ye dru no bebi akeka kono he otro. Nti Akufo-Addo ne na aban. Se omo be fra Ghana for ma ya boa wanwa omo nye ne ntem. Sa ahombaso no edru pempenso bia emwa obia.
But oka say ahomaso, what does that mean? Because at the end of the day, the Ghanaian people voted for a government to steer the affairs of the country. And that is what they are doing. Ahombras here will be what? Say economic management team share. No matter why like minority members in parliament to come and join them and answer when you're doing no so say. Because anything decision they want to make, they also about parliament or deba.
Yeah, pepe.
And
when you say IMF or more free hakon, okay,
that's 2019 April.
Na say ya mobile enrich ya mobile ya from so mo for oxygen this year.
Na say ya dey.
Okay, mama mo try and okay. I say they are waiting for government to put together what government calls an enhanced
domestic program, yes.
And that steps should be taken to carry the people of Ghana along. And that they expect broader consultation on the program to receive consensus building and acceptance.
Yes. I read that.
And no say oko cabinet afra Adongo.
Na eno no si omo mesia mo.
Me busa o say and no say oko cabinet after Adongo.
Dabi.
And no chrese eda mo be hia mo ni beje say ya rewo say enije mo fra Adongo na Haruna Ediso. And no chrese fregana for mo wanimde no mo for mo nimde ni beta wechi no mo ntufu kwan a wo be fa so a ye de bibi koto IMF nim na ye de ye dwuma Ghana nyina be di wechi a ede mfaso bebreye. Now also when you say
a sensi type of program.
You can call it anything.
Okay.
The important thing there has to be broader consultation to develop a program that has the buy-in of Ghanaians.
Of the Ghanaian people.
When you fail to do that, if that's not arrogance, what is it?
No, but are you saying, sir, for more example in Parliament, a critical committee like Finance Committee are buying as part of program or more prepared to IMF? No more meshiamo.
So I'm about to.
Are you serious?
Mrs. Ombebachna and the Minsu who died. Benjamin say, Elevi cry out, Dero Mokrano. Omo intimia a regime and Bambe Caseminianum. Minimum the age of Finance Committee. Ebribia Missy
Asempa FM 94.7.
Send ye keka koniti in football ben na mo de mami send ye beya sensation na meya. Etimema Ghana ejina naso o man freda enu na mame ye call US Washington or be frame meeting am ka se menko evi se me no ti kurom ha no un frame me dako un frame me nimu nuano mo dako se woni ye beto fa adwen na obi parliament etuasika de me akotena US ho na akwa akohia mo bi maso edi nkomo be esansa me kwa akohia investors nti
ndi wanko
mimra na wo nkyere me asema me nko kan kyere investors na megimi.
Oh, na say Ghana ho donti.
Na Ghana ho don na sha se frifia. Nya obi krom. Ada na minim ne ekoso Ghana. Ma me nso me koka na minim. Nso pa koka na onim.
No, say you cannot go out there and paint your country black.
I am not painting my country. I am telling them the truth about my economy. The truth about my country. Lying about your country itself is criminal. Because they will rely on the lies and come and get their fingers bent.
Yeah.
Nti some no bi nso se o kan nokre no na omo tu omo kokko e ho na afi wo be frem se o membra na unsum uyima sutire na mka se ofa me come de onso pa chan so ko de
o ka kire no
me se me ma so ti ase me ma na obumi a Ghana na nka wo de me be nipa enye ho. That is to tell you, say, ye cry in ye jumakurano, on the entrance in Ghana Hoda.
The finance minister.
On the entrance in Ghana Hoda, apart from say, or the business about parliamentar or babe defending ye, on the entrance in Ghana Hoda 6 years. Need there be princess and pimpin. But near yan say, on say e levy, and rob by one can was him. Share document or the 11 at 10 baby 6.9 when you're 553 or 63 million. So 63 million said there 6.9 into almost
6.9 year annual.
Yes, but so half year you are still level half year and you think the half year you can get 6.3.
It doesn't look like.
Why is you still putting 6.9 there? When you have changed everything on e-levy, you have admitted publicly that you are not even going to get anything more than 4.5, but you still put 6.9 there.
So as target.
Good. So this year, aqua kodru koshoko 63 or 65 million. We end there.
A former chair of the finance committee, Marcus Ibeyeboa, a posted on the page, say May to June. E-levy revenue was 93.7 million out of a programmed 1.46 billion. That's within that quarter, no? How about lowering the rate to say 0.5% and widening the coverage? Just food for thought.
Yeah. So if you look at here,
yeah,
the budget was 6.9.
6.9, yeah, for the year.
They projected that they will get 1.4 billion.
Yes. At the end of the second quarter.
6 months, first quarter, second quarter, 1.4 billion.
Yeah.
93.
Omunya 90. Yeah, that's what Mark Sibe was.
100 kwa.
100. And on no proposes say then maybe they should reduce the rate to say 0.5 and widen the coverage.
That conversation is not even available. What you say? Papa ne nkomo obedi ni nra no enkyere se
or per se
or one more 11 mposo na wakase bebi a 11 duru no enie nti dia na menye dia na mobetumi fo se menye se ne ebe ya 11 no ebe peja no nti the suggestions are minua SCB is offering very laudable and good idea. That window has been closed by the minister. It's not available for conversation. So ultimately, ahomaso na make no be no.
But I don't be leading into the revenue measures I'll put it before more.
Which is the revenue measure?
Yes, I'll take you through. Because again, say share in komo aye dina clearly a buying expenditure no. Esrana echo. You even make the point say or must spend this can be crap parliament any way. It clearly expenditure na ekosro. And so say going forward there will be some other commitment that was buying a year. The government would have to reach an equilibrium, no, it also more raising revenue. Clearly, e-levy did not possess a magic wand now. Near feasible possess abua revenues. No. It also a bunch of other alternatives. What the minister put before you, Enra, number one, I say introduce e-VAT invoicing scheme. Extension of waiver of interest and penalty up to December 2022. Introduction of upfront payment of VAT on importers not registered for VAT. And implement property rate. And of course, aside to introduce the idea government say public roads funded by GOG. Dia ombetoli. But all new roads are yebeye under PPP arrangement. Abai is planning to toll those roads. Of course, and even for Tema, Accra Tema motorway in Podo be create special purpose vehicle or modebeye na tolls ka omenya na edia pay back that loan no, itself. These are some of the measures. Are they ambitious enough?
So what is it that he said that he didn't say in the main budget?
They introduce e-VAT invoicing scheme. No?
He said it.
Extension of waiver of interest and penalty up to December 2022.
Has he brought any bill to Parliament to amend the existing law? If he means it, has he?
Maybe he will do that. Sir, and run away presentation.
Coffee.
Move resume that. Yeah, of course.
Property rate so waka. Property rate e budget ni mo. Na osabe boss. Ebe adwuma nka aye adwuma. Ana die bi no osaboy.
Introduction of upfront payment of VAT on importers not registered for VAT.
Yes, so that's what I'm saying. Say, your importers now registered for VAT, and you want them to pay upfront. If it requires legal regime, you have to come and amend.
Come to Parliament.
If it doesn't require legal regime, but it's a compliance issue, you have said nothing. You get the point? You have said nothing. Nana, baby, I want to yes, sir, no more way.
Oh.
Baby e jina no enye saa brofo we na ebeye adwuma no ni ebeye adwuma ne say you have our revenue measure at 6.9 be ba say at 93 na eba gabu na ewom no so dia de na ebeye potin a at 6.9 no be ba 4.7. Now the VAT. So nipa no tuya VAT dada no say say any e na or your printing manner and also difference be.
Say plucking loopholes.
Loophole ni there. Sa na no mbeka kire o say ada ba o me ko di nkomo bia o say omo increase tax net na say sia no
omo budget 10
they have about 14 or 15 million. Nana sa tax net no adwa na wo mu anase no ne wo.
And no saying na say nipa na wo.
Me busa o say okoyi na mo osuom. Now the net ko now to net no tools yonim na eyi enam na enam na wo twa beto wo ayi mu no ye friend say obotu no mu obetwe na se omo ye amane any fingerlings a tama net ri beto wa yi na fish
FM 94.7.
what did they make?
Yeah, me tell pa na nam ni na Africa.
Because we fingerlings ye we won
Omususa.
ye re fingerlings ni omo kura Ghana card wa ma omo 10 omo wo school mu amu enika no omo nyadwuma
Omo nyina ka sa 15 million.
omo ka ho wa wo kura card bia wo 10 ho omo sa fingerlings no eni nkora omo nam krom omo ye unemployed no omo kura card ni bi no omo wom ndi sa net we ana me buza ze ni ne wom ana ze amokua ne wom what in a Michelle? So you are roaming around with 14 million people who are unemployed and are in school and don't pay taxes. Eventually, you come back to the 4 million people who pay the taxes. What am I say? Unless say what me say, you have a way of deepening the tax net. There's a difference between deepening the tax net and widening
the tax net.
Deepening the tax net is the ones that net natural no dear. Say me make sure say me am san so mu say wo ye fingerling no say wo ye de no me de me san becho untimi tonsuo no bi na afa na me chi wie na me ba na me hwe enu am say wo kra ye fingerling me sa do atum me chi ba na wo ye obi a say me we am say ha na me hwe no so what ya say inti wo de 60 million useless thing numbers enam ana wo say tresika Emma margins NIA ne dia say anye bia wa ma 16 million thing wontimi use wo kura wo Ghana ka as ye kan no kura wo ye se chutum
Omuchi ne tum so why dey
na wo betua sika for fingerlings
no but the point is at the point people would have to register and get a Ghana card.
And I'm saying that they don't qualify to pay taxes, so having them and paying for it is meaningless. Utua sika GRA edi ene sika bedi ni semu no edi bi tua NIA margins say o use margin database edi create your friend is saying 10
yeah
10 no so akoko tua na okoko create ya wotua no nipa ndanam school a wo SS2 SS2 ana wotua no ho sika e wa bra
if I get you at the problem na nye Ghana card aban eye no the follow-up thing of a GRA, the margins data, create you almost 10 no. And the GRA has paid margins for that.
We must pay margins for only 10 numbers usable in terms of collection of taxes.
Okay.
So okotua say obi kura 10 not say tracing to Ghana card until $100 million akoma margins. Ewa bra nipa na okura card na wo generate 10 ne man onim po se why bibi because on no school we school we unemployed wontimi nge hwe free no enso wo tua no ho sika nana yensa be ne wom mo yedi ana mo sa de na no so nam na mo ye hu dede se chimutum se mo se Ghana sika keke
ba wo mo ba power obechi nkofo atomo pa
nana adie na hu adie na hu pa se ye tua 100 million se so mo mie no kwa mo ko GRA ni GRA so mo de we mu se mo de ka $100 million we se $100 million obe kwa kwahwe no na fingerlings na mo di hu nkomo mo ko tuiska eno so ye mfa nchina ye ntua tax wo ho nti nipa na wa credit tin amana ote Ghana card so a udi ne ho komo na otua no o school a wonam ho ni mpo se wa credit tin amano enso otua ho sika nana ye hwe bi yo
ba se otua se scanner a one off payment because nipa na nya ne tin
na afibia etua
no the American say nipa no wo school sisi na wanya 10 no on sign ko register for 10 bio o re school no ye adwuma we still tax
me say afibia mutua What you hobby and amphibian to say, oh, you Sugana card, the Sugana card database, and ye de cheat 10 numbers. In Sunipane Nam school. Nipano or your unemployed or to application be a quite mad.
I feel you try new people who have registered onto the 10 and
from Nebunomokasa.
Messages be about questions they be have my mean be Musao. My mean started with Richard Ahiagba. Richard Ahiagba, Deputy Director of Research at the Presidency, formerly no Executive Director of Dankwa Institute. Was a good afternoon, Obi. Please ask Honorable Adongo, assuming he is the Finance Minister, given the context Oforiatta is faced with, what would be his prescription? Honorable, a direct question. Say former President Mahama Singh Rini Abaye President Bio appointed as Finance Minister, faced with the similar situation, similar contest Oforiatta eye mu adwuma sisiana or prescriptions by then.
You see, I've been saying something. Open solution. Yen radio so now be some solution. Can Oforiatta di me oni midi. On frame memra.
Or number.
Yen han na me ba be ha ma adwen akeka bibi kwa e dey satisfy obi a friend Richard Ahiagba. Omo na omo say omo nim o ma chen obi a ye dey yabon. Say ye a yabon aduru. Omo adwen say ye betimi aka bibi anyensa kakra wo mu a. Omo frame. Na omo frɛ ya ebe bibi no mani akira. Sa Ahiagba pa onka check no Oforiatta say o invite here. Na me di nkomo e oni adaje a wotie. Sade.
Yes, this is your parliament.
That's why you shit fucking. Ofiro.
Sir.
Oh, yeah, we are no ofiro. Nti Ahiagba, Richard, you are my good friend. Tell Ken Oforiatta to call for a consultative meeting and tell us the problems that he wants us to resolve. And I'll be the first to provide solutions to deal with our problems. I can't do that on radio.
On radio, there you will not do that. And yes, it will be and yes, it will need prescription.
So academic exercises they are on cancer. But say you debe ye juma bebo Ghana no. Nya ha ne ka no.
It may be academic purposes.
Miso school man ko ni.
Wan ko ni say.
Na unte so mo na PhD nom nam. Mini bi. Zamstek, what is Zamstek da? Zamstek secondary technical. What is that?
I know where he.
Some anka preseki, banka honam koi, Bolga.
Oh, Bolga, Zamstek.
They school me nantisa no makɔ no maba no man nam de abedru hai. Na me nkɔ kyerɛ Yale. And
Yale train
no ne Harvard foi. Harvard foi bi say school na mo kai baba boa. Na me dem Zamstek abetra hai de. Nye radio.
And that's obey finance minister Zamstek nim dia na obey.
Yeah, nyam frame. Of I nyam frame.
Obi, if it's true that the government has printed new cities to the tune of 22 billion, then I clap for them, pa. Obi, make no mistake. The US, UK, France, etc. have all printed trillions of dollars to meet their financial needs in the wake of the global economic downturn as a result of COVID and the Russia-Ukraine war. So please, our MP should support it irrespective of whether their initial prior approval was sought or not. Dr. Dakwa, Washington, D.C., and Odiwe Abba. And that argument comes up. Baby, na say, na the Ghana yakwa hunchemu a. Interest ke. Enti, this man's argument is to say, BOG, HS Kafofra. I mean, what's wrong with that?
Anyway, so, and the woman said, a wadrin attach into ye no illegal.
Okay.
America Mrana or the Juman. Dear to me na America Mrano de Mano. Anna Ghana Mrana a dear Juman, 2 million bay and a demai. Say her name pair.
Yes, some.
Yes, son. Anambwa.
Yeah.
Yes, son. But yes, son, I am right the honor dear won't mean Indian Mrano. But you see, America, American economy, the size of American economy cannot be overheated by government expansionary program. Yani, if you undertake expansionary program, you have a very fragile financial system where a lot of the people are outside of the financial system. To recall those things, those monies to come back home is very difficult when you need to curtail the amount of money in the system. And that affects your inflationary targeting framework. And as a result, you will get to realize that you are not able to anchor your inflationary expectations. So excessive fiscal dominance is bad for our economy. It erodes the stability that we need. And it is part of the reason we are having this unstable economic environment. So, Bank of Ghana increase policy rate could do 19%. No, Senko Fosu. But one going to increase here. Or the fresh cannabis.
Or the same fresh cannabis.
Or the fresh cannabis no so no so ko bobosiana and born kosoro. And nutina a bank crack ko bobosiana 29.8%. So you have to take a decision to rein in fiscal dominance over monetary policy.
Over monetary policy.
It's as simple as
Good day, Obi. Ask Honorable Adongo if there is a caveat in the law which caps the BOG on land at 5% that takes care of natural disaster times. Because at least one man who said in the Fiscal Responsibility Act, the caveat be or say you bet me a go beyond 5%. But no, Busa said BOG DNN sono. Caveat bisa ewumuana.
Yeni suspension of monetary policy rules in the Bank of Ghana.
In the Bank of Ghana Act. There is no cover. Obi a webu samran bit me hide under. And Kwame Ejay Asante, constituency chairman Ewo Kaikwe South. That's the response to your question. Obi, Honorable Adongo's evidence to his allegation of BOG printing notes is full of conjecture. America is experiencing all-time inflation in 40 years. Did their central bank also print notes? They just make wild, unproven allegations. Right, Junior in Tantra Health, he's proven, something to that effect from the budget statement. If you listened from the beginning, I was to tell him we would have been picking dead bodies on our street if his government was in power. Was he not in Ghana when his government depleted growth rate from 14% to 3.4 in 2016? Was he not in Ghana when his government put us in darkness, heat, hunger, and unemployment for 4 years? Junior in Tantra Hills with this one. We say Obi. Good afternoon. Abdul Rahman Bako. I'll come back to your message. But this one says, Obi, please, the Bank of Ghana needs to plan well because the rate is just too much. And today is my son's birthday. Kindly wish him for me. Professor Prophet Nathan Ansa Appington, 4 years old, and he attends school at Mineg in Dansoman. Mr. Eugene Ansa Appington. Obi, Honorable Adongo, is it true that in the 2021 budget, at paragraph 845, Ken Oforiatta said the Tema Motorway contract has been signed. In the 2022 budget, paragraph 878, he said financing for the motorway has been concluded. Now, during the 2022 media review, at paragraph 56, he said procurement processes are ongoing. How many finance ministers do we have? Musa Abattoir, Ewo Asawase, and Obusa Sa and Semi. But information I will.
I haven't averted
you've not averted your minds too. But I asked you about government decisions. Say, new roads are ever under PPP, no? Umbe tolis are roads, no? Good decision.
Yeah, sure. So am I confused?
Am I confused?
The reasons are don't those reasons apply to PPP?
I said to almost say all public roads, public funded roads, there still are no toll.
Whatever reason you give to cancel, will the reasons be different? I'm catching some for so. No, Musabe say environmental DNA. Now we know the environmental number.
But as I say, roads on PPP, it only makes sense they will toll those roads for the project to pay for themselves.
That's why I'm saying that whether it is paying for itself or it is supporting government to maintain the roads, it's for them to decide because tools na edge no yam fangu ebotom yaje to maintain
the rules.
So it is for them to decide what they want to do.
Finally, answer the interview and honorable. Now, President directed the finance minister said on IMF EMEA negotiations, which possibly will lead us to an economic program, under the IMF. Say what can I mean? Government will need to start broad stakeholder consultations, no. But even before that starts, no, Ebiaka say it was a buy expenditure items, or shena or review being kakra. The social intervention programs no up for conversation. Enra, the finance minister was quite clear. Say free senior high school policy will not be reviewed. And that in fact government crabbe improve no one make sure so much amana ye. What do you think?
Say okay
Say then so
review. Say review no be shemukena no. Nyenu na nkwane wo ha mo nyeduane ni. Oka say obeshemukena na yen review ni ade no. Ewiwi ase nkora no mo nyeduane di. Na asa be kan next one. Ye hwe no so. Buffer stock egu over 340 million the intimintua. Nkora na ekọ try exams ada na nkomodie. Say betuaka, say ntuaka. Na yankora itimi atro exams. You say for natural akayede. It's still part of the problem. He's not worried. Oshe ye sika semse ne sisi kwaya. Abani niska na wetimiare ye noma obetimiaye. Na ye ne hia ansa na ye de fata.
Ye de fata.
It is say yen hwehwe saa noma we mu ne mpe kwan a Ghana nyina ba chi atum se sei ene beboa ye na wo so wo de wo adwen ne wo ho dada nti wo nhia Ghana fo afutu a so na ban ne hye wonsa se buka mu a se wonse mu a se yiye nso a na yabo yense mama na mum eso kan hu se wo ya ban na mum nkura ne nya ne dia nkura ne ya wo fo dia awofo nso yem hyehye wom ana awofo da wonda efi se wonu adi amana ka wada no ne ba edakom
Asempa FM
aban obie ni homa awofo bie ni homa saa abri okoda wonwe ne ba ho nti aban ka nsem a na wontu anamo a edi arehye mu ebeba saa awofo yi abrabo ene o momentum brofa kase bebre enyehwe ne hia ne se ode koto bebon kwan na nkwan ne yetimedi
amana yi
eno ne hia se obe review se obe cancel se obe ye de na anu yi oka se on kwa me fe koda se nyo no ka se ye cry ye
we are a sovereign country.
A sovereign country. The Black Stars of Africa. No matter what we do, we are not going there. Ebe we are saying ekoi. South papaya sakra say. Obeshem kena ama onkora enya jinapa. Nesa obeji atum na obekwa akoda na wasno a ojejereje.
Enra o media briefing after the presentation, Osan Repeti will call for him to resign. And also Mampenyi Mpamono. Mibusa the Deputy Minister John Kuma about this call from you. Ma Oka said it's an unfair call because this is a manner before COVID, before 2019. Now almost all the indicators looked good. Oboejuma build the economy back from the Amodema around 3.4, 3.6. At about the average 7-8% for 3 years running. Inti say problem aba na external neoma happen ma economy na kwa hochtem kaka. You cannot base on that alone and say some fan ejuma ento. Now we just first 3 years ejuma den obo ye nyina egu
2019 na COVID mbai. We spend 91% of our revenue on debt service. 91% of our revenue on debt service. Leaving only 9% to take care of the rest of the budget. Who was the finance minister?
Ken Oforiatta.
Is that the indicator that he is proud of? What was our debt to GDP by the period 2019? We ended the year very close to 70%. At the time, it was under the watch of Ken Oforiatta that Ghana threw 22 billion at a banking sector reform that could have been dealt with 3.6 billion. And I'll explain why. You collapsed 9 banks. You asked those banks to go and bring 400 million. 400 million times 9 is how much? 3.6.
Mm-hmm.
Is that not it?
Yeah.
How much did we spend? We are now being told it's even 25 billion. That level of recklessness for a poor country like us. Look, it is because of the high-handedness, the predatory regulatory action.
But Honorable, those banks were not closed
Let
down
me make
because of a more inability to pay the 400.
So let me explain to you.
Mm-hmm.
When we took Capital Bank and we took Unibank, UT Bank down, we spent almost 2 billion to resolve them.
For our 2 banks?
Yes.
So, and not a GCB taking over?
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, GCB got into trouble because GTB was giving a bond, not cash. So when depositors of these 2 banks went to GCB, they didn't have money to give them. Eventually, GCB used its deposits that it has mobilized to give it back to these banks. Whereas, government could have spent those monies to actively invest as shareholder in these 2 banks. The fear and panic that resulted in people taking their monies from the rest of the banks wouldn't have occurred. So several banks became insolvent on account of the fear and panic and the panic
And there
withdrawal.
was a run on the banks.
Exactly. Subsequently, those that were not even in trouble got into trouble and had to be resolved. Okay? I am aware of Royal Bank, where an investor was willing to give them 400 million. They were owing Bank of Ghana 800 million. And the investor said, look, I'll bring 400 million. They will recapitalize on condition that you will not withdraw the 800 million they owe you. And that you allow the 800 million to be in the bank for at least 3 years so that we'll work to repay you. You said no and collapsed the bank, leading to panic withdrawals. And in the end, you spend over 1 billion more on that bank, in addition to the 800 million that you had already invested in the bank. These were the activities that accumulated in the 25 billion. And I'm saying that any reasonable, sensible group of people would have rather spend the money taking a stake through the Financial Investment Trust of the Bank of Ghana, which currently owns majority shares in ADB.
Okay.
To take stake in these banks, run with the private sector owners, turn the bank around, and exit and hand it over back to them and take your money.
But so we share boldest report about out even the Bank of Ghana itself or more report about out on these banks there were really deep-seated governance issues than just investor be the cap 400 million. The issues were far more nuanced than the OK.
So, boldest report, I've always said, is a sheet of paper that doesn't even deserve to be mentioned.
Boldest report?
Yes, it's a very useless paper.
Are they?
Boldest did no job.
Hey.
Yes.
Can
Look,
it
even the work, Juma Boldest here, the price, what else could you Juma? It was a very useless piece of paper. But you see, you don't kill a bank because of governance challenges. Governance. So you don't kill a bank because you know what? The bank is a victim of the governance challenge.
Asempa FM 94.
So you kill the victim because of somebody's incompetence and somebody's malfeasance? Who does that? Don't forget that the bank is a separate legal entity, separate and distinct from its owners and actors. So if the actors or the owners have misconducted themselves, you don't visit death on that separate legal entity. You deal with the people and you restructure and give that bank to the hands of a competent group of fiduciary responsible people. That's what you do.
Yenim say Bank of Ghana.
Do you agree that is what you do?
No, I agree.
Good.
But Yenim say Bank of Ghana in the case of Unibank, for example, appointed administrator to go and run the bank for some time. And the administrator run a bank for some time, no? They realize actually the problems are not problems, the bank would have to go under.
I'm happy I came here today because people like you and others have been seriously misinformed.
By the Bank of Ghana?
Administration, go and read the Bank of Ghana, the Banks and Special Deposit Taking Institutions Act 930.
930.
Read from section 110 to 140. It will give you all the procedures for administration. Administration must initially be for 6 months.
Yes.
Within 3 months of assuming office as an administrator, you are supposed to issue an interim report. Which is more like a status report, what I came to see.
Okay.
Good. Then after 6 months, you issue a special report. That special report provides different scenarios that must be implemented in respect of the bank, either to save it, to recapitalize it, or to dissolve it.
Yeah.
Then on the basis of the special report, you take action, whether you are going to restructure the bank, you are going to recapitalize the bank, you are going to kill the bank, and all that. There was never a special report on Unibank. That report of Unibank that you see is a status report required in 3 months.
Okay.
So when they saw just the status report, they took the bank without going further with
the special report.
Exactly.
After 6 months.
So we were not even up to 4 months. We didn't even do 6 months. In fact, part of the recommendations under administration is that you can extend the tenure of the administrator after the 6 months if you feel that there are other matters that must be resolved. You took the bank, gave it to administrator, and you were so much in a hurry to collapse the bank that you couldn't even wait
for the special report.
You just acted on a status report. And the report was replete with disclaimers that, look, we have not done or we have not carried out processes to confirm the validity of the numbers we are reporting. And that we didn't undertake an audit to express an opinion. And as a result, you cannot rely on this document. And if you do, rely on it to your detriment. And you still took a bank on account of a disclaimed report.
Administrators no status report.
Yes.
Now it was our details.
KPMG. That was KPMG's report. So how on earth do you take a bank with a report full of disclaimers? Who does that? Chief, you just took people's banks, destroyed people's financial dreams, and threw the government of Ghana money at it. There is a day coming on these matters.
My main kind, my final batch of messages. Ni yenya okran. Na kokoto awa adwuma so Ekosiisen so ni. Ehaya Asempa 94.7 FM. And in the for you na in the for you no, because I think when you now buy in your answer to the question about say he had done well in times past. In the current situation, so and call for the resignation. And I was saying even from 2017 to 2019.
He's done worse things.
Are you saying, Honorable Adongo, in all sincerity, say, for you, this economy under the watch of Ken Oforiatta, nothing good has happened? Onye the Papa Bakumpo.
He paid my salary. Are you okay?
And only the only good thing.
No, are you okay with that? He paid my salary. Are you on one thing that is good? I said he paid my salary.
That's the only good thing you can say about Ken Ofori-Atta as finance
that
minister.
is the worst finance minister in the Fourth Republic, if you ask me.
Ken Ofori-Atta.
If I were him, I won't even wait for me to be sacked. Please. People are stranded with their bonds in Ghana. Foreign investors who want to sell their bonds and leave this country, put them up for sale and there's nobody to buy them.
94.7.
The capital market is gone. If you succeed in selling the bond, you don't get the foreign currency to exit this country. And that is a capital market specialist, too. Mergers and acquisitions expert.
You give that to him.
If you're an expert, it doesn't mean that you know the work.
Oh, how?
You trained. You trained for mergers and acquisition.
No, but he's
But
built,
in practice,
he's built the country's, probably our biggest investment bank.
and I'm saying that biggest investment bank you are talking about in 2009 was struggling to pay depositors. It's a fact. If people had taken the decisions they are taking today, Data Bank would not have been alive. But it was nurtured and allowed to grow as an example of the Ghanaian dream. He didn't give others the same opportunity when the time came. And posterity is our judge.
All countries are embarking on banking sector cleanup. No, decisions were ruthless decisions. The Nigeria example is there for all to see.
So the ruthless decision in Nigeria is the Zenith Bank of today. It's not dead.
Cal Bank is not dead either.
Let me finish. I can give you 1,001 that are dead. I'm saying that the ruthless decision in Nigeria is GT Bank. That ruthless decision is Access Bank. Bank of Africa. Your ruthless decision is Unibank. Capital Bank. Sovereign Bank. Royal Bank. Heritage Bank. Where are they? Beige Bank. Construction Bank. Where are they?
But there are other local banks that are doing
I
well.
am saying that I'm giving you example. I'm giving you the example of the ruthlessness of the banking sector reforms of the two countries. One generated a banking sector that was awash with cash and had to move offshore to other countries in order to fully implement their vision. One killed them, so they couldn't even be in Ghana, let alone to dream crossing the shores of Ghana. That is a level of clueless. Dutch Bank, we are every day borrowing money from Dutch Bank. That bank is a product of banking sector reforms. Okay? Mm-hmm. Is it dead?
No, by your point, no, do I get the inclination, say, can't buy this, because of banking sector cleanup, no? There is no local Ghanaian bank?
No,
there
it's not about there's no local Ghanaian banks. It is that Ghanaian banks are dead and that we now have an overly subscribed foreign banks and less Ghanaian banks. And that your Ghanaian banks are struggling even to survive in Ghana, let alone to move to other countries and work. But somebody did it. The end result is what we see all over the place in Ghana and other countries. That is how reforms are done. Go and ask in Nigeria, they will tell you, our main focus is for you to merge. Mm-hmm. So the signal was sent. If you are about 3-4 of you and you agree to merge, we would assist you to merge and become a viable bank. In Ghana, the signal was not for you to merge. If you don't succeed, we will kill you. That was it in Ghana. The mergers created bigger balance sheets, and those balance sheets found their way into Ghana.
But you would also agree, sir, until the BOG decided, say, minimum capital requirement, or more pegging at 400 million, the threshold at the time was too low, and then just about anybody could open a bank. That could not have been a proper regulatory environment.
I haven't said that. Yes, even under NDC, we undertook a recapitalization. Mm-hmm. We said that we're going to do 230 million for 3 years.
Yes.
They came and did 400 million. How long was it? How long?
Under 1
year.
Period under 1 year.
1 year. Abnormal.
You think so?
Look, somebody will give you 300 million for 3 years, and you want 400 million in 1 year. That's crazy. That is crazy. That is creating the conditions for failure. Because it is not possible to just raise the 400 million in 1 year.
Then you have no business being in universal banking.
So if you go to Nigeria, it wasn't done in 1 year. So these are the examples of successful reforms. And the successful reforms agenda in countries like Nigeria tell you that you don't do it in 1 year.
Now, evidence for them to know.
Apart from that, we had to reform the legal framework. So we needed to strengthen the Bank of Ghana, and that's why we amended the Bank of Ghana Act.
Yeah.
We needed to strengthen banking sector regulation. That's why we passed the Banks and Special Deposit Taking Institutions Act.
930.
We needed to protect deposits. That's why we passed the law to govern deposit protection. Then we said we will recapitalize at 230 million over 3 years. Beyond that, we introduced what we call the Internal Capital Adequacy Assessment Program in order to handhold individual banks to raise appropriate capital depending on the risk on their balance sheet. So it wasn't a one-fit-all procedure. It depended on the level. After you've made the minimum of 230 million, you needed to now work with individual banks. In some instances, you could ask somebody to bring 1 billion if the risk it is carrying on its balance sheet requires 1 billion.
But if you did them, the exposure of most of these banks began during those periods.
You still don't understand.
No,
when did we do the asset quality reviews?
That was before 2016.
The asset quality reviews were done in 2015. We validated them in 2016. And when we validated them in 2016, the results led to these reforms. So you remember that if you even take into account the how do they call that? The transitional arrangements. The Banks and Special Deposit Act could not come into effect until somewhere around April 2017.
17, okay.
We were not in power.
Okay.
Good?
Yeah.
The Bank of Ghana Act, as amended, was in 2016. The deposit protection was in 2016. The announcement of a minimum capital was in 2016. The announcement of a roadmap, including the Internal Capital Adequacy Assessment Program as a Bank of Ghana directive, was in 2016. When they came, they jettisoned all of that and went on the rude, predatory activity of targeting banks owned by people that they feel don't belong to them, and brought down very powerful people on their knees.
Ofri said that is what happened.
That is exactly what happened, and they threw our money at it. Dr. Indum, everybody knows that Dr. Indum wasn't treated fairly. Everybody knows that a man at 75 at that time was not treated fairly, Dr. Dufour. Everybody knows that, yes, there were challenges, but nobody believed that UT Bank, Amoabeng, would have been treated the way he did. The young enterprising Beige Bank, young man.
Yeah.
Ninaku. We still remember. Heritage Bank, Seydou Agongo, what was his crime? That he has a problem in court, and that already makes him not fit and proper to own a bank, even though he has not been
found guilty.
And you say this is what? Please.
But Honorable, Unyini so say the information and the data available to the Bank of Ghana, because you and I know.
Look.
You and I know, say, the people manning the Bank of Ghana now, they are not like me. I mean, any practical knowledge about, say, you do, I don't. But it be the information at their disposal. Now we need access to that info. They couldn't have just taken those decisions.
So let me tell you something.
And are you saying the Bank of Ghana and Penny Fono were targeting these banks?
Of course, they were used. Let me tell you, Unibank. They did a first assessment on Unibank, and it was a normal annual surveillance in July. They came back. July, they came back again. In August alone, they did 4 reviews in November.
94.7.
You know what is happening? You do the reviews. No. So finally, until you get negative capital adequacy, then you take it. 8 times. They did it 6 times.
On
in 2 months. 6 months. 6 times in 2 months. Just to achieve the result they wanted to take the bank. And that's what happened. And they took the bank. Things have happened in this country. And I know there are some people today who are not sleeping because they just can't sleep well.
Really?
I'm telling you.
That is some people in power or some people who are victims.
Some people at Bank of Ghana and at the Ministry of Finance don't sleep soundly.
Hey. Because of a more role.
Because of what they've done to their fellow Ghanaians. They can't sleep soundly. But I say posterity will judge us in this country.
Motion for censure no o sign be on the finance minister no.
It is not public. About public album.
And public. It's public.
We don't have a motion for censure in Parliament.
No, but you've signed.
I haven't seen a motion for censure. When we see motion for censure, we'll talk.
I don't understand.
There's
but
no
my
motion.
members are signed.
I'm saying that there's no motion on an order paper.
I've not said there's a motion on
So
an order paper.
when that motion
the
comes,
intention to want to file the motion
that
no,
when there's a
has
motion,
to be signed.
when there's a motion of censure for the finance minister, call me and we'll have a conversation.
Honorable Isaac Adongo, me and Nasi.
Yo, Mr.
Yeah,
Dawes.
best answer din komobio.
It's
been a pleasure.
Nanabi or madam.
Yeah, Henry Nanabuach, and a birthday.
Yeah. Na baby a partnership ya or mama sonte.
Sir. One other thing, son, I work on. Him said that I work on Nanado abayana aka 2 years. Or less. Yeah, maybe 2 years. A little over 2 years. Now, yeah, kwa to aba. Are you confident of a victory for the NDC?
That election is not NDC against MPP.
Nedeng.
It's MPP against Ghana.
2024.
It's a national service. That election is MPP against Ghana. Ask yourself whether Ghana will win or MPP will win.
Mame Nase. You better come on. Ekosiisen is the higher semper 94.7 FM.